2 methods for stacking landscapes with moving objects in Zerene Stacker. Today, we are going to look at 2 methods to stack landscapes that have some movement in them. For example, we have a landscape here with 3 different shots. In the first, the foreground is in focus. Then we have 2 more where the middle and background are in focus. Stacking this by hand in the GIMP would be difficult because there are some tall grasses that intersect with the background. Therefore, it's much better to use focus stacking software. In this tutorial, I'll be using Zerene Stacker to stack landscapes. Of course, the techniques here are valid for any other kind of photography as well, including macro photography. I'll go over 2 methods to handle movement with focus stacking in Zerene. The first is very general and can be used for any stack where there are some artifacts or problems, whereas the second is more specific to certain kinds of images. Let's get started. Retouching. First, open Zerene and drag your images into the program. In this case, I'm using 3 images, but you can use any number you want. Start your focus stack by going to Stack, Align and Stack, Pmax. It should just take a couple of seconds for Zerene Stacker to stack the landscape. Now everything is in focus, but there's a problem. The clouds moved slightly in between shots, and so they are repeated, giving this crazy look. This can easily be fixed by retouching. Simply click on Edit, Start Retouching. Now, make sure that the image selected on the left sidebar is the one with the background in focus. Bring your mouse back to the current retouched image window and you'll see a brush. You can scroll your mouse to change the size of the brush. Simply click and drag to paint over the sky where the clouds are duplicated. I'm being a bit quick here, but you might wish to be a bit more careful. You can also select the foreground image and retouch some of the reflections in the water. Once you are done, click on Edit, Commit Retouching. If you realized you made a serious mistake and ruined years of work, click on Cancel Retouching instead and start again. The new retouched image will appear in the output list and you can save it somewhere. You can see that this method indeed worked pretty well. This technique is very general because it can be used on anything that is moving in your shot. Zerene will do 90% of the difficult work in such cases, and you can use this easy retouching system to remove any minor artifacts. Method 2. DMAP Contrast Threshold. Another method that sometimes works is using the contrast threshold in the DMAP algorithm. It works when the thing that is moving has fairly low contrast, such as clouds. To see how it works, go back to Stack and then click Align and Stack DMAP. Now, before the algorithm is done, you'll be presented with a window entitled Set Contrast Threshold. If you increase the slider, you'll see an expanding black area. These are the areas of low contrast that will be excluded from the stack. Simply drag up the slider until the duplicated clouds are covered in black, and then press OK. Your image will be processed and stacked as normal, except that the repeated clouds will no longer be visible. Keep in mind that you can still use the retouching feature with the DMAP method also, and combine both techniques. This can be very useful in more complicated stacks. Conclusion. Which method should you use? Both can give similar results when the only thing moving is something of low contrast like clouds. However, the first method of retouching is a bit more precise and also works better when there are things moving that have more contrast. Also, you can use the first method of retouching with either the Pmax or the DMAP stacking algorithms, whereas the contrast threshold method is only available with the DMAP algorithm. I hope this tutorial helped you stack your landscapes, but if it didn't, try portrait photography instead.